This is my half-acre zone 9A garden in North Florida, and I have just been dreaming about making a garden tour video for a very long time. I actually have not done it yet because the garden isn't perfect, but I realized it's never going to be perfect. The garden is a labor of love, and I'm so inspired by all the content creators that I see on YouTube just being their true and authentic selves, and I figured, why not? Trains, neighbors, and all, let's go ahead and just document it. I feel like it would be a disservice to my future self if I did not document this process with my family and our efforts to just be more sustainable and self-sufficient. See? So as I said, we are on half an acre here in sunny, muggy 9A North Florida, and gosh, it's not even 9 a.m. and I am sweating. So just wanted to show, this is the far back area of the garden. You'll see it's pretty far back when I zoom out, but here's our little family of deer. You gotta be quiet because they're skittish. There is a bundle of clumping bamboo back here, which this area truly scares me. My neighbor even tried to exercise whatever is back here. We believe there was a nest of raccoons because at one point actually our chickens were being pecked off before we were able to really reinforce the safety of their coop. And so we had one chicken who was unfortunately taken, and we found her back. Well, we didn't find her, we found feathers back here. So I think that clump of bamboo was hiding something pretty scary. After that started to happen, I actually adopted our livestock guardian dog, Sophia, whom you'll see running around. But here it is, it's just a little bit of wild Florida in the back. Sophie's way back there. This is our dump zone. One day we'll clean it out. This up here is the largest magnolia tree I have ever seen. It is so beautiful when it is in bloom, and I love to mulch all these leaves. Our barn, my husband's target, because he's a, gosh, if it has a target, he's gonna hit it. He's a marksman. And this is the backside. Lots of kid toys. So as we come over this way, you're gonna see my husband's Jeep, which is always existing in different pieces of the yard. Oh, here comes Sophia. She's my bud. This is kind of a Franken Jeep that he put together and uses it on the weekends. Kids love to ride in it. Here are the berry chickens being sweet babies over here. So I put together this garden bed here. This is full of nasturtium and cosmos sown from seeds. These are both edible. The nasturtium actually are really nutrient dense, very good for the chickens. The cosmos, they don't love them, but they do eat them, but mostly they're there because they're so beautiful. Here's my babes. The goal is to have this sweet potato vine climb up all over the grading here and make it have a pop of color. It's also edible. I got these for 99 cents last season. They were throwing them away at the local garden center because they didn't look good, and I was like, hey, I'll take them. I kind of feel that way about any plant. I'll take it. There's a banana that came back after the terrible frost. There's Sophia. She's digging her way to China. Sophie, get out of there. Everybody in my family loves the tripod. They just cannot handle having the camera and not being right up on it. So my husband is putting together an extended chicken run right here. We want to give the girls some more space, and then we're eventually going to put some sort of sun canopy over it because it gets really, really hot here in Florida. Here's the start of the orchard. So I have 2 apples. I have my Anna apple, who is doing really well this year. I think she loved the cold actually. And her mate, the Dorset, which is a new addition, so they can cross-pollinate and hopefully we'll get some fruit next year. Down on this row, there's generally a ton of sun, but this is a nice overcast morning. I'm going to put some citrus trees. And from there, my beauties, these are my 2 birdies raised beds. I love these things. You know, I'm 40 years old, gardening is kind of backbreaking, and this has just been a joy. In fact, I actually bought a raised bed and a green stalk vertical planter for my mother so that she could get out there and start gardening too. But if you look, we're doing really good. We got some zucchini popping up in here. Very, very happy. I have all of these tomatoes. You know, honestly, with these guys, they just kind of get too big for their britches. I snap them off, I stick them in dirt, and they give me new plants. We're going to cut back some of these leaves so the yellow flowers are showing out more so we can get our pollinators in there, but lots of yellow squash on the way. This is a story for another day. I'm stuck on marigolds this year. I truly think they're the reason why I'm able to have such a wonderful harvest. I think they're keeping away the bugs. Because look, man, these tomatoes are killer. The goal is to eventually have them grow up and over the arches, because this is my bedroom window and I just love to look out and see my garden and see my chickens, see what everybody's doing. Working on these green beans, they're not so happy. If you got any tips, let me know. I think it's a companion planting thing. They're not getting along very well. So we have lots and lots and lots of tomatoes. I think we have some turning red over here. This is new and super exciting. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these tomatoes, guys. I think I'm gonna have to learn how to can, which is something I've always wanted to do. I have some canning books that I bought during COVID, like everybody else. I was super trendy during COVID. I've never been trendy in my life, but I adopted an animal, I got an air fryer, I had a baby. I did all the things during COVID. All right, baby peppers are coming on. Look at you little guys. I got some acyllum that are not doing so great because they're crowded out without any sun. More marigolds. Some of these have been transplanted recently, so they're looking a little sad, but I think they're gonna catch up. They're super hardy. Ooh, look, more peppers. Yum. Got some yellow squash kicking too. Rosemary to help with pests. This is just a dump garden here. I mean, literally, I snapped off all of those tomatoes and I popped them in the dirt. Got some green beans not doing so hot, but I think they're just gonna be replaced and this will be tomatoes only. Sophia over here by the water line. So these succulents actually are from my in-laws property, which is in South Georgia. And when my husband and I got married, I took a ton of these and I propagated them and I put them in tiny teacups, and they were the favors for the wedding. And it's been 13 years now and I still have friends who have their own sedum plants that they've been growing. Sophie, what are you doing, baby? What are you doing? Silly girl. My hope was to record this all in one shot like a Beyonce video, but I figured I would sacrifice and turn off the AC. So that's how much I love you guys. Tools, kid tools, mommy's tools. If we come over here, this is my green stalk and it is showing out, it's doing so good. So here's another one of those tomatoes that just, it looked crazy. I snipped it, stuck it in the dirt, and look guys, it's giving me fruit. I have no idea why the bugs aren't touching it, but I'm so grateful. So I have rosemary, I have onions, I have some lettuces, I have beets, I have more onions. I was not as successful as I want to be. You'll see some pockets aren't really growing. I used Whitney's raised bed mix, and to be quite honest, I think it was too dense to start seeds in. So next year I'm going to do the Mel's mix variation that I used in the raised beds in my green stock here. But hey, from afar it looks awesome. There's Sophie chewing on a stick. One day I'm gonna make a livestock guardian dog video and let you know all about the pros and cons of an Anatolian Shepherd. Carrots. So this is an angel's trumpet that my father-in-law actually gave me a piece of. I've had it for years. It really goes through phases where it's very happy and then not very happy. You see, it's got some spots and it's lost a lot of leaves, but it was looking beautiful like a month ago. I've had it for years and it has never flowered. So I'll take any tips on that. Here's my pollinator bed. I lost almost all of it in the freeze, but the purple heart and the salvia did come back. This lily came back. globe amaranth, which is just so cute. I'll tell y'all the Satum story one day with the snake. Here are some bulbs that I just ripped up from the backyard. I stick them everywhere and then they come and go. I love it. It's a little bit of Florida. This is my milkweed garden. I had this wrapped in stone for the longest time, but I chose to lift the stone and use them for other things. So over there with the chicken feed garden, and it looks like I missed the blueberry bush, so I'll get y'all back there. Actually, let's go do that. Let's whip around here and we're gonna look. So I have some watermelon here that I grew from seed that I am just loving. I needed a trellis, so I'm using actually an old bedpost. Jury is still out about the finish on the bedpost. You know, Lord knows where it was made and what it's covered with. This is kind of my plant hospital down here. So these, I believe they're called red sisters. They died like to nothingness, to twigs in our freezes, and they're coming back well. This is a very spooky crepe myrtle. It's black with pink flowers. It's so my jam. One day I'll show you the inside of the house and you'll see. Hidden down here, this is prep for my compost. So I've got greens in there that are becoming browns. And then we come back around. Here's my junk wall. One day I'll have a shed. And here is the blueberry barricade that I created a couple of weeks ago. I made an Instagram short about this. The blueberries are doing so well. Very excited. If you look here, they've got fruit. And moving them over here, for some reason the dog has not been eating them, that was the goal. I think instead she's just excited to dig a hole. This is a Carolina jasmine. My neighbor and I actually each bought one. We planted one on my side of the fence and one on her side of the fence. And sometimes we come out here and we drink wine and we just weave the vines through the fence. It is so relaxing and beautiful, and it's one of those plants that doesn't bloom until the winter. So when it's cold and everything is dead, this is just gorgeous and bright yellow. We come back over to the patio. At the berry barn in the back there. That blue is our color. The front of the house has a lot of that color. So here I have some spider plant pups that I transplanted. Begonias look amazing. Thank you, Garden Tone. This, I believe it's called Egyptian Night or something like Egyptian Queen, and it is a night blooming flower and it is ready to go. Every day I have to move it because it gets closer and closer to the ceiling of the canopy. This plant was in my classroom when I taught, and it was 6-7 feet long. It was amazing. It hung from a bookshelf actually. And I brought it home when we broke for COVID, and it did not like being in my house. So I recently brought it back outside and it's starting to look good again. There's a mishmash of things. There's a dog. This here is a Swiss cheese monstera. This is a funny story because my husband actually bought this for me for my birthday. He ordered it, a live plant off of Etsy, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And then he just tossed it in his office, and a few days passed and he said, oh yeah, I bought you something for your birthday. And we opened it up and the thing was so pitiful. I mean, I did not think I was gonna be able to get it back, and I did. And it just grew and grew and grew. It got bit by the cold, you can see, but it's still going. And I've actually cut snippets of this and I've propagated so many that I've been giving away as gifts to people that I love because it is such a cool plant. This is your traditional monstera. Probably needs to be repotted, but it loves to be outside. It is sucking up the humidity. I rarely fertilize it, but if I did, I know it would be gorgeous. These sides of the grill are where I pot things. This one is always super shady, so work gets done here. Excuse me. This is a good potting station too. When I sow my seeds, I do them in the garden window here in the kitchen, and then I harden them off outside here so they don't get direct sun, but they get exposure to a lot of the light and they feel good. Here is our barn. We have a lot of overgrowing stuff here, but it creates a little bit of privacy and shade, so it's something that I prefer. And then here is our shade garden, which we again lost most of it in these freakish freezes that we had this year. But when this thing comes back, I think it's Chinese lantern. Oh gosh, it's beautiful. It covers the whole fence line with these purple and pink flowers. Some bulbs I planted. Snake plant, always awesome. And there it is. My half acre, zone 9A, North Florida. I love it.